As CJF Foundation, I just want to thank you so much for the incredible 6-week fellowship opportunity I got. I appreciate the opportunity to be accepted, and I learned so much. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of things that really stood out to me in making me a better journalist through the mentorship that I was given. The first thing I want to talk about is what I learned about myself and what I need to improve on. The biggest thing I learned was that a story that I was working on about the Stanley Cup and asking people on the street, doing streeters, asking them who they'll be cheering for. I learned through that the questions I need to ask and being okay with asking that question a second time and trying to get that best soundbite out of that person is okay, and figuring out ways to ask questions to get what I'm looking for is something I need to improve on. And through that experience, I learned, and I continued that into my fellowship, and I learned that I felt my stories and my interviews got better because I knew that it's okay to ask that question again and rework a question and see if you can get a better answer. The second thing I learned was the feedback that I was given was incredible. From day one to our last day, Charmaine and Richard both were incredible in using their own experience and their own, from their own work, that where they feel that this story can be moved, if it's the interview needs to be pulled up to the front, this clip needs to be moved, if it's B-roll that can be moved to the back maybe. It was great because not only did they help me with their feedback improve my story, but through their feedback of the other 5 fellows that we had, I learned that, okay, that works there, so I'm going to use that in my future stories. So having the opportunity to work with 5 other people not only helped me because the feedback I was given, but the feedback they were given, it helped me improve my stories in the future, and it will continuously throughout my journalism career. One thing that Richard asked us on our last day was, what would you tell the CJF fellows for next year? Originally, I told them to always have multiple stories working at once, because if one story falls apart, you can have another one that you can have the opportunity to do those interviews and work with it. That way you have something done by the deadline. But after more reflection, I thought I would say to them, don't panic. Because I was at that moment where I was panicking. I thought I didn't have an interview, I didn't have an expert, my story was falling apart, and I didn't have something ready for the 4 p.m. deadline. And then I thought to myself, and what I would tell them is, I took a minute and I thought, what got me into this fellowship? It was my research skills, my interview skills, my editing skills, that the CJF saw something in me. So the CJF also saw something in you that got you to this opportunity. So use that and your story will come together. It might not have been in the focus or the idea that you wanted it to, but it can come together, and you just have to be able to roll with what's working for you, and that's what's going to make you an incredible journalist. And I hope that I take my own advice when I say this, because I hope that more people understand that just because you're having a setback in your story, it doesn't mean your story's gone. You can still rework your story and save your story. Through this fellowship, I've learned so much about myself, the industry, and just having the opportunity to work with mentors, but also be in the newsroom and talk to other people in the industry. Because when I was coming into this fellowship and when I was in school, I originally thought I wanted to work in sports journalism, and I still have that feeling that I do want to do that. But having the opportunity to be in the office and sit beside the business desk and talk to people and learn about how they go about interviewing high-powered people in industries and the companies, and gaining contacts that can benefit them in future stories, I feel like that is so impactful. And whoever does it next year, I feel that I would put an emphasis on coming into the office if you're obviously local, because you will learn a lot from your mentors, but you will learn so much more from other people in the newsroom, because they're just trying to help the next generation of journalists and use what they've learned to help us or help them. So I hope that the CJF continues to have great success, and I hope this fellowship grows even bigger and bigger. And I can't wait to see what the next 6 fellows have to offer, because I will be watching, and I hope that they have great success. I don't know what's next for me. I am going to continue to create my own stories, and maybe in a longer form aspect, like what got me into this fellowship. I hope to send more links and share what I'm working on throughout my journalism career. So CJF, thank you so much for this opportunity, and hope to see you soon.